So last time, um, the party, if I recall from my not very good note taking, we did a lot of research into various different topics, mostly centered around the martyr and looking up more research about the martyr, more research on Velirine, perhaps some to do with anything to do with mirrors, some mythologies. Um, and after doing a lot of research, we found the latest article from our best writer, JJJ, and were informed that we would have a new mission that we would be a little vague, but not too vague, that we were to meet with a delegate, I believe. Or rather, we got to a meeting room that we were told to go to, and there was a from the northern land of it's not Ventera, right? The ones to the far north, the Drow people, the ones who originally had Jethra. We had an ambassador there who seemed rather confused as to why he was meeting with us, as we were confused to be meeting with him. After some terse exchanges that could have perhaps been handled better on both sides, and a little bit of a misunderstanding or two, we came out of that meeting with one very, very angry delegate. um, Afterwards, Yolvin called a bunch of Johnnies after seeing one acting potentially suspicious, and more research ensued. Uh, and I believe as we were in the midst of our researching, in the midst of then going out to try and find our mysterious maybe shifter, maybe not, I believe we left off with spotting them across the hall in like, I wasn't sure if it was like in another wing. Uh of the while we were walking. Like I don't know if it was like in an adjacent hall or just like across, but we
Yeah, he
spotted
was, yeah, he was just across the hall.
we spotted him, and I believe he began to take off running upon seeing us.
All right, excellent. So first thing we're going to go up is just a lively jog with consequences. Everyone, go ahead and roll initiative. See how we're going to go.
Okay.
Let me go click my token real quick.
Advantage toggle may have some issues for initiative, but that's fine.
I forgot to click my token.
Why the hell am I first?
Advantage on initiative is nice. They really wanted me to take that 7.
Gonna roll again, but I got a 6.
Gotcha. Okay, let me go ahead and order this up real quick.
Oh no.
Cool. So, top of the round, Domikos. He's about 40 feet away.
40 feet away, huh?
Mm-hmm. Fireball. Always solves everything.
Necro ball. Let's see here. So I'm going to move up my movement
Sure.
30 feet, so I'm closer. I am going to. I know that we don't want this guy to get away, so I am going to spend 2 sorcery points to bonus action cast Black Goat's Blessing on him. So he has
Okay.
disadvantage on a save,
Sure.
for my spells. Then I'm going to cast Oppressive Cold on him.
Cool.
Which is a
What's
Constitution save.
cool? And what's the DC?
17 at disadvantage.
Yeah, he fails.
Cool. So now basically, as this cold surrounds him and brings him into that, his speed is cut in half. He has disadvantage on weapon attacks and dexterity saves. But is
Okay,
vulnerable to
excellent.
fire damage.
So what you're saying is blood magic a fireball at him.
Right, exactly.
All right, cool. So you send out the cold. It does seem to kind of lock around his body and cause it. You guys can see his movement physically slow, as if he's moving in slow motion.
And then he does get a save at the end of each of his turns, but
Cool.
potentially taking damage.
All right. So
That's my turn.
excellent. Next up, it's going to be Eric's turn, and he's going to go ahead and dash out. So he's going to move 40 feet, another 40 feet. So he's a total of 80 feet from everybody else. 50
Even
feet
with his
from
speed
Dom
in
Code.
half?
Yeah.
Damn. Speed a little bit.
Well, he did dash.
Gotcha.
And he's about 20 feet away from a sharp dog leg to the left. So that's his turn. Zon?
How far away is he?
Oh, shit, rush. He's about 80 feet away. And he fails that. Actually,
Cool. So
wait, is the save disadvantage on
yep.
both? Okay, cool. So yeah,
He has disadvantage on any of my saves until the end of my next turn. So
gotcha. Cool. So he takes 1 cold.
yeah, 1 cold damage. I'm not going to empower that.
I'm gonna move 30 feet up, and
Cool.
I'm gonna cast Hold Person.
Sweet. Damn it, Tortilla! Stop it! Get away from my dice. What's the DC?
14.
So he passes. Okay. Stop.
All right, that's all I can do.
All right. Joven.
Okay, so how far away is he from our group?
He's 80 feet away from you.
Ah. Well, I'm definitely going to use my 60 feet of movement from moving and an action to dash to try and get as close as I can to him.
Cool. Within 20 feet?
Yeah. And I'm going to use a bonus action to I'm going to use a bonus action to enter a rage. Get that shimmering energy around me.
Nice. Perfect. Is that your turn?
Yes, for now.
Excellent. Kara.
Are we in a straight line or are we in another hallway?
So it's pretty much a hallway back to where you guys were coming from. He does seem to be heading back towards the library.
All right. Fuck this guy. Use 2 sorcery points for quicken spell.
Okay.
Move up. Grabs on. Dimension door ahead of him.
So you guys just appear in front of Eric. Zahn gets a little bit nauseous from his dislike of teleportation. And you see Eric has this look of like, even though he's slowing down, he's still got this look of like, oh, I'm home free. And then you guys appear in front of him and he goes, oh shit. Is that your turn?
I have an action, but I don't want to hurt him. Oh, I can actually. I can. No, I
Nuke
shouldn't
him.
though.
Nuke him. Do it. Nuke him. He deserves this.
No, I don't want to do 3D, even if it'll slow him down.
He deserves this.
No, he deserves it, but should I?
What would Zahn do?
Hit him with a sword that I don't have.
I mean,
so.
Fair.
Nope. I'm just gonna. Nope. I'm going to try and catch him if he tries to get past us, but otherwise, I don't want to like hit him with anything. I don't want to kill him.
Sounds good to me. Okay. End of your turn?
Yep.
Excellent. Damokos.
I'm just gonna. Dash up to catch up with everyone. However
Cool.
much movement that would be.
So 60 feet, that would be actually right next to Zahn and Kara. You'd be running past him.
Okay, I won't run past him. I'm gonna stay like I'm gonna keep him between
Cool. So you're gonna
myself
just
and yeah.
run 30 feet.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I am going to that'll be my turn. I'm not gonna prep anything.
Excellent. So you guys bamf appear in front of Eric, and there's this moment of oh shit. Then his right arm comes up, and you guys see a mixture of black and red, like as his arm starts to go from the tanned sun elf skin into like almost a chitinous black and red that pushes out into a large black, what looks like block, sort of like triangular pointed block, and he's going to try and push past you guys.
Is this a spell?
No, it is not.
Okay.
This is like his arm is expanding out into this shape.
Sure.
So you guys can go ahead and either make a strength, like an athletics check to try and push past him, or you can make a acrobatics check to get out of the way. Whichever you'd prefer. Okay. What are you doing, Kara? Shield's coming at you.
Yeah, I got a 5.
Okay. So Kara sees this and she kind of tries to get out of the way. The shield does hit her, and you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage, as it does hit you like in your side as you're trying to get away. But Zahn, you like kind of lean back and you grab the shield, moving back with it a little bit, and then hold him steadily in place, which he does not look like he was expecting at all. And end of his turn. Zahn, it's your turn.
So he's still just right in front of me?
Yeah, he's right in front of you, and he does not look happy, and he looks very surprised. Oh, I'm going to do that save.
Oh yeah. Still a
He passed.
disadvantage.
It was the end of
nope.
your next turn.
Yeah, so it ended.
He passes.
Passes. Okay, so he doesn't take damage, and I believe the effect ends on him. Yeah.
I'm just gonna grip that shield. And... We only want to talk. Please stop.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Sure.
Then why are you chasing after me? And
Because you're running away!
end of your turn?
I mean, if it seems like he's still going... Fuck. No, I guess that's the end of my turn.
Cool.
Wait to see what he does.
Joven.
Okay, so I see him trying to like essentially shove past Zahn and Kara.
Yep.
Am I in front or behind him?
You're behind him.
Then I'm going to move up the 20 feet.
Cool.
And I'm going to actually try and so he's shoving with one of his arms, right?
That's right. The other one is free.
I'm actually going to try and grab the other one and kind of pin it behind him and to try and like push him down onto the ground. So I'm doing like a grapple check basically.
Yeah, sure. Make a grapple check.
Okay. I forget, do I have to make an attack roll first?
No, just make a grapple check.
Just imposing athletics.
That's not great.
It doesn't matter. He's been rolling shit on these opposed athletics checks. You
I realize.
grabbed him grab him and hoist his arm up behind him, and Zahn's holding onto his shield arm.
Yep. Basically putting pressure so that he can't like I don't sure how much he can shapeshift, so I'm kind of just putting a general pressure that I would.
Cool.
And I'm going to since I've already grappled him, I'm not going to use my other attack. I'm just going
Well,
to
grappling's in action.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'm just holding him in place, going to try and keep an eye out if he tries to move, and I'm going to manifest for my like natural attacks and stuff. I'm going to go with a tail.
Cool. End of your turn?
Mm-hmm. End of my turn.
Sweet. Kara, it is your turn. Sides all bruised up.
So he's just. Is he on the ground or is
No, he is standing up, and he has panic in his eyes.
Oh boy. You know, you'd be a lot less suspicious if you wouldn't immediately run. So why don't you calm down and we can just have a chat?
What, so you can get me like you guys got the others?
What others? What? What? You make no sense. What others?
Is that the end of your turn? You can do it. Knock him out. Underway.
I could, but that's not going to help the case.
Thunderwave.
No. Can I call for Noodle?
So Noodle's not currently with you. You can certainly call for Noodle. Keep in mind that Noodle is in the rooms. But yes, you can call for Noodle.
No. Fuck it, I'll call for Noodle.
Cool. How are you calling for Noodle?
Oh, the door is closed. Never mind. I'm gonna leave him in there for now. I don't want him biting Eric's hand off. Whatever. End of my turn.
All right. Domikos, it's your turn.
As Zahn explained, we just want to talk with you. We don't wish to hurt you. So please don't force our hand.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage. Tell them to let go of me.
Don't run away and they might.
This isn't how that works.
I'm letting go.
All right. Zahn, let's go.
I'm still holding him like that. I'm just gonna growl a little bit, just staring daggers at this guy who's been avoiding us.
Let him go.
I don't think he'll run.
If he starts to run, there's nowhere he can go anyways.
I'm just gonna shoot Zahn a glare and let go.
So you let go. And we are out of combat. He his arm morphs back into the high elf arm, and he starts rubbing his wrists. Who the hell are you guys?
We would love to have you answer the same question since we have seen you before.
Where?
I forget the town name, but it was someplace in Kel. You are a very drug-obsessed individual, and were attempting to run a medical institution somewhat. Very poorly, I would might add, but last we saw of you, you were heading off to a cave to snort some more of the drugs, as they were.
Oh, right. Sorry. You know, drugs mess the memory and all that. How you guys doing?
I'm gonna
Can I make an insight check to see?
check.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
even
feel
good
like
at it, but I'm like
checks.
raising a brow at that.
That's not a disadvantage. 6 to 7.
Okay.
Damn it! It was almost 16.
I mean, I might as well join in.
Because I worked for him for a week. I don't buy that.
Cool. So, his deception's actually pretty high. I know I said it really shittily, but his deception's actually pretty high. Zahn, this man is lying. He doesn't know who any of you are. As you told your story, there was a flash of recognition in his eyes, but it wasn't about you guys.
Why don't we find some place private, and we can actually have a real conversation? Because we'd love to have more information from you.
Sure, I know just the place. It's outside of this place. They've got pretty sure they can hear everything that goes on here.
Very much why I would prefer a private place, if you have one. But please, don't run anymore. We're not your enemy here. Or at least we hope we're not.
Right. He kind of eyes Joven. Right. Okay. And he leads you guys outside. After a moment, he kind of peeks around a corner and says, "Hold on." And you see that his body is kind of overrun with a mixture of black and red tendrils as his form shifts down into a gnome. And he kind of gestures for you to follow him. And he walks past a group of vampires and all kind of give him a small smile and a wave, and he nods back. And then as soon as you guys are led outside, he shifts back into Eric's form and leads you guys into just a small spot outside of the Fallen Keep. Not really even off the path that far, just kind of like surrounded by trees. Okay. So, what can I do for you guys?
I have several questions just from that walk alone. Who and what are you?
So, I am a copy, I think. I don't know. I really wasn't given like a, oh, this is what you are. I just am. You know?
No, I don't know, but I guess.
Sure. Anyway, you guys can call me Kirk.
All right. And do you know these other forms that you have? Who they were?
It's not really like who someone is. It's just like I can either become people or I can become a slightly different person. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I am really good at disguising myself.
I can see that. That's very obvious.
But I'm surprised you guys don't already know that.
Why would we?
No reason. I'm just surprised, you know?
Well, I don't entirely believe that, since you believe that we've killed or done something with these others you spoke of that I'm completely unsure who they are. And I'd prefer you answer that question first, too, so we have a bit more basis on where we're at.
Sure. So, I don't have a lot of time, so I can answer a few questions now, and I'll answer a few more later. But sure. So we all woke up in a cave. I assume it was an underground place that was just kind of. It looked like a lab, but destroyed. So we all woke up there. And just kind of branched out, and then we started disappearing. Because, we keep in contact being the same. But
how many of you were there?
There were at least 15. And I don't know how many are left. After we started disappearing, we kind of, or at least I severed contact.
How long ago did you stop disappearing?
A year, maybe 2 years ago?
Well, to start, I can tell you that we haven't gotten rid of any of your others. You're the first we've knowingly met. I believe we may have met one other of your kind. Possibly two. This Eric I spoke of that I know you're not actually him. If it is him. But there was also a man, he was a lizard folk, I believe, at the time when we met him, down a bit more south in one of the villages just outside of this country. He was leading
Jericho.
people. Yes. Oh, well, I was going to get to that. But he was calling himself Jericho. He had a way into the Forgotten Keeps area here, and he was our guide there, or at least he was. We went through a tunnel that had a bunch of vampire spawn inside, and he unfortunately couldn't make it all the way here.
What do you mean couldn't make it all the way here?
The vampire spawns attacked in a large swarm. We did what we could, but there were too many. He ended up getting caught by some of them.
Oh.
And his form changed into a very alien-like creature that we had never met. But since he changed form, it's almost connecting in my mind that he might be one of your kind.
Interesting. So he was attacked by a bunch of vampire spawn. And then what happened?
Well, I believe he died in some way, or at least was harmed mortally enough that it looked like he was dead, and he changed back to a form. He was silver of skin, large tendrils all throughout his body, almost like spikes going up the sides of his legs and arms. It was a very strange sight, and not something we had ever seen before, but since he changed form, it sort of leads me to believe he might be one of your kind.
Gotcha, but he was just attacked by vampire spawn.
Yes, we didn't harm him in any way. He was our ally up until that point.
So, fun thing, he might not be dead.
Oh,
Right. Is he an ally of yours, though, or was he not?
I don't know.
Right.
Honestly, I think one of us might be hunting down the others, so pretty much any one of us is a potential enemy.
that's
right,
pretty
but
rough.
he was one of your kind, though. That is what I'm saying.
It sounds like he might have been I don't want to. How do I say this without sounding racist? A not as complete version as myself.
Like a prototype?
Maybe. I don't know. I assume that we're all similar, and we woke up in a lab, so I assume we were created there. I don't really have any more information about that.
Right. Alright. I'm not sure how much time you have left, but we originally came here for something else, but we were told that there was someone who was very informed on the Kingdom of Velirine, and supposedly you were it, or at least your gnomish form was. And that's why we've been trying to get in contact with you, but you've been so distant and very shady about your personality and such that it hasn't been easy. And you'll probably understand why we are so curious.
No, I understand. So you want to know more about why Velirine?
How do I explain this in a quick way? We all, at least a few of us at the moment, were tasked by a deity-like entity to find pieces of a relic that were long lost to this kingdom, and this was one of the places. And we are more or less just looking for more information about this kingdom because it's steeped in mystery, and whatever information we can get about it so that we can learn more and have a better understanding of what we are partaking in would be helpful. And this place just sort of screams that it was at least at one point part of such a kingdom.
Unfortunately, I can't really give you much solid information on it, but I can probably lead you to a place that might. The only issue is it's locked.
Right.
It needs to have a key.
Ah,
But tell you what, if No, you know what? You know what? My appointments can wait. I haven't been able to talk about Velirine in a while. Sure. So, is there anything you guys need to do that would be more important than this?
Well, not that we know of at the moment. However, tomorrow we have a meeting with the Vampire Lord.
Oh yeah, that's okay. All right. Give me about 30 minutes and then meet me back here.
All right, sounds fine with me.
And then he disappears into the forest.
Not enough time to like go grab Noodle and come back.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask him if he'd like to meet a dragon, but he's gonna meet one whether he wants to or not. I'm gonna go grab Noodle.
Cool.
Remember when Kara had a hand that kind of just walked around and caused mischief? And now she has a dragon who has probably destroyed the room that she left him in.
Or at least eaten everything. Left it barren.
Including that hand, possibly, that she hasn't checked up on in days.
Betting Alexander is probably as mischievous as Noodle, and the two of them have teamed up.
Yeah, remember that time we saw him with blood on his hand? Probably went and killed someone.
But that was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah. A group of shapeshifters who hate each other. That's going to be fun to deal with.
There's just no words right now. Everything leads to more questions, and hopefully this answers more than gives me more questions.
So, you guys just hanging out after you get Noodle? You guys just hanging out for the 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Why do even the weird alien shapeshifters look at Joven funny?
Good question. Something we should bring up, because I'm still very curious on your whole situation to begin with, since you kind of were tossed down a cliff and then appeared in a room randomly with strange gear and a very not living sensibility.
I'm sussing out the details as I go.
As are we. And if it were that easy, we would be not asking these questions right now.
Cool. So after about 30 minutes, he does come jogging up. He goes, all right, you guys ready?
Yes, whenever you are ready, we are ready as well.
Cool. Let's head out. And then the sort of black and red tendrils go across his body again, and you see a Johnny standing in front of you. And he just starts leading you guys down a path. After about 10 minutes of walking, you recognize he's leading you towards where you got the Thunderweed and Thunderweave.
Okay.
Oh, lovely.
Anything you guys want to discuss on the walk, or just...
So, what is Velirine?
Failure. I mean, in its most recent iteration, it's just a complete failure.
In what way?
It's not here anymore, is it?
Suppose not.
Failure.
Ah.
Iterations. Is it a kingdom that has come up more than one time in the past?
I might have misspoke. Iteration isn't quite the right word. Um, any other questions?
Ah. How did it? Do you know what went wrong, or any predominant theories?
I'm assuming the same thing that goes wrong with really any civilization. Too many people got greedy, and either were torn apart by the people they were supposed to be taking care of that they weren't, or they felt infighting and an outside influence came in and destroyed them.
You've done
Right.
a lot of research into Velirine, I take it. Have you
Yeah.
heard of anything referred to as corruption within those historical documents? Or
Uh, what do you mean, like money style corruption? Look, everyone who's a politician is corrupt. Ain't no
I'm-
one goes into that isn't corrupt on some level.
I'm speaking more physically corrupted. Any mention of something that might have been like a plague or some form of mutation or
I don't remember seeing any plagues, but also what I've had are very limited things. It's not like you can find a book written back when Velirine was there. It's more like I've found ruins and I've tried to decipher the pictographs and the carvings in the ruins. So who knows? Could have been a plague. Could have been a plague that the leader was adequately warned about. Who knows?
Well, you mentioned pictographs. The area you're headed to right now, at least, is in the same area that we were just in. We were gathering thunderweed from it. Large, thunderous spheres and such that were striking the ground underground. I'm not sure if you're aware of the place.
Oh yeah, that's where we're going. You were just there?
We were. There's a large statue of the Weeping Martyr in one
Curse.
area. Have you translated the pictographs in that area?
It's hard to translate some of these pictographs.
That's the problem we ran into as well. Did you happen to find the mirror behind the statue?
Oh, you mean the gateway?
Yes, whatever that appears to be.
Yeah, I mean I haven't seen it, but I assume it's there.
Oh, well, we have seen it.
All right, then yeah, I mean then you know exactly where we're going and what we're gonna see then, I guess.
No. I'm curious. Are we stepping through that gateway?
Well, do you guys have the key?
No, I didn't realize that was what you meant. We were very apprehensive, or at least I was, to touch anything regarding that, because it looked more or less that whoever was chained to that mirror, or gateway as you said it, was done so in a fashion that would bar anything from inside from coming out.
Yeah, well, you know, these things happen.
insight check that.
Yeah.
So nonchalant about this shit.
He is-
17 again.
He's hiding something. He definitely knows more about this gateway than he's letting on. And in fact, there's been little clues throughout this entire conversation that he's really not sharing every bit of information. It doesn't really seem like he's leading to any place that you could be like actively harmed. So like when he refers to the gateway, it's not like, oh, this is going to kill them. It's a portal to the plane of fire.
Portal of
it-
death.
He does legitimately seem to believe that wherever the gateway leads to, it's going to bring you some more information.
Right.
But he's not sharing all the information about it.
Is there anything more you can tell me about this gateway? I believe that we are at least on equal terms of that we can trust each other where we're going.
Well, just that it has a secure lock that I really haven't been able to find a key for in a while.
Is it more of a just random sort of magical item, or is it an actual key that we're looking for?
From what I can gather, it seems to be a key that's specifically made. But whether it's made like one key per door or whether it's kind of like a skeleton key situation, I don't know.
Right. Well, I'm sure we can discuss that more when we're there. However, there are plenty more questions that we have been wondering about Velirine since then.
Sure.
Does the host mean anything to you?
The host?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you know who that is.
I haven't seen anything in any ruins about the host.
But it sounds like you know who that is, at least.
I mean, what's he the host of?
That's a very good question. That's something we would love to know.
I mean, technically, the Vampire Lord is the host of the Fallen Keep.
I'm talking more on a deity level here.
What kind of deity would give themselves a vague fucking name like that?
Someone who is a deity for a reason, most likely because they are very overconfident in their own power. But that is beside the point. I'm more or less just curious as to who or what he is and what he wants, since he has tasked us with this quest of sorts.
Well, what was the quest? Was it just to collect a relic of Velirine?
It's a sword, specifically, one that apparently destroyed the Arc Mirror at some point, if you know who the Arc Mirror is as well.
It's the sword that killed the Arc Mirror? Because I saw a thing of that, like the pictograph thing, and it looked like it was more of a dagger that killed the Arc Mirror. Or wait, did you mean the Arc Mirror sword?
Could be that. We did know... We are in search of that dagger as well. Well, we had it, and we are in search of it again.
Well, what happened to it?
Can I make an insight check to see if he knows where it is right now? Because we know it's
Yeah,
probably
sure.
up here.
He seems genuinely interested in what happened to this dagger.
Well, the whole reason why we came up here in the first place was a friend of ours was kidnapped. And
Oh, your
the
lover,
drow.
right?
No.
You read J.J.'s articles as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's really the only interesting thing to read.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was
it's a lot of misinformation. She is just a friendly individual that we all helped out of a bad situation and
Right.
unfortunately got kidnapped into another situation that we are trying to save her from again.
Gotcha. Knight in shining armor. Got it.
Sidebar.
Sure.
You're not also JJJ, right?
Well, what would the fun in that be? No, I'm not JJJ. Don't.
Okay.
Wait, is he here?
If
I'm
he's been
going
following
to,
us, it's going to be hard to tell because he does like to turn invisible from time to time.
Can I look behind us and
I
look
am-
at footprints?
I am literally glancing at Noodle to see what Noodle's doing.
So
See if
Noodle's
Noodle-
actually sleeping in Car's backpack. When
In Car's
Car went to
backpack,
get
okay.
Noodle, most of the furniture was eaten. A lot of it was just kind of like on the floor, and he looked like he'd eaten so much that he went into like a mini food coma.
Ah,
So he's kind of just a big bulge in her pack.
Oh god.
And
So-
could make a investigation check.
I'll make an investigation check. Just because I'm glancing back to see if there are
Sure.
footprints
Yes,
behind.
please.
Oh.
Cool. So you look back, you guys are good. Zon, you kind of look back and there are a fuck ton of footprints behind you, but it seems to be yours. But when you look up, you do notice a slight shimmer about 50 feet back. You see a slight shimmer for a moment, as if someone was invisibly walking behind you guys.
You son of a bitch.
Excuse me?
I'm going to try to cast Hold Person on that area.
Oh no, he wasn't talking to you. I don't think. Maybe I don't know.
If someone's
And
swearing at you, you know.
the shimmering stops where it is.
One moment, please. As I turn around and go to where this person is now being held. And just grasp onto that area and please stop being invisible right now.
The invisibility melts away, and you guys all see JJJ kind of like frozen mid like walk.
How much have you heard?
He can't hold person.
I'll release Hold Person.
He's going, hey, not much. It's cool. You guys want to have a private date? It's fine. It's fine.
Insight
That's
check.
fine. He's gonna be slowly backing up.
Damn it.
It doesn't look like it. As far as you can tell, he might have just started following you guys, but it doesn't really seem like he's heard a lot. But then he kind of, you see him, he throws out the dimension door and steps through it.
Is he close enough for a counter spell?
He is.
Counter spell. You little bitch.
All right. 1 second.
Well, Kara's got to make that roll for a counterspell.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm just taking a look, making sure everything.
It'd be a DC 15, I believe.
It's just 10 plus the spell level, right?
Yep.
It's 14.
Oh, I make the check, sorry.
Yes.
Second.
Yeah, so he goes to throw out the dimension door, and then the spell fizzles, and he kind of looks back at you guys. Private adventure. I get that. You know what? You're good. You're good. Don't even worry about it. You guys have a day off. You can't hero every day, right? It's cool. It's cool. And he just kind of starts backing up into the forest.
Look, I don't really mind what you do, because it's not exactly affecting us yet. But the little bit of flair you like to add and story building you like to do is a little bit offensive to me.
Offensive?
And I would... Yes. I would prefer, if you were to tell a story, you make it grandiose enough that it's not going to politically make us seem like we're attempting to usurp the vampire lord, if anything.
I don't... Where does it say usurp the vampire lord? He pulls
Well-
out like a little notebook.
The heavy implication you are implying is that we are bringing down the tyranny. And in the wrong hands, they may approach that as we are attempting to destroy the vampire lord. And
I don't see where it says that. I'm talking about like Moroth itself.
maybe make a note about that in very specific terms that we mean more.
In the far-off castle, away from the capital of Moroth, they plan to usurp the throne. Got it.
Oh, jeez.
Got
Don't actually say that, though. Imply it, but don't actually say it. You do a lot of implying. Why can't you just imply it? Just in a way that isn't going to make us politically look bad. Here.
Fine, I'll do my best.
I don't entirely believe you, but I am willing to let you try. Because I don't exactly want to keep this up, this whole charade of me having to come back to you to complain. But do whatever you're going to do, I don't quite care.
Fantastic.
You can follow us around all you want, I guess. But just so you know, do not write anything about us implying the destruction of the Vampire Lord in any way.
Gotcha.
Please.
Pro-Vampire Lord, anti-Queen of Moroth. You got it.
Never mind. I don't care anymore. Let's go. As
And
long
as
as
you
you don't have a problem with him being here, Kirk. Otherwise, I will
It's
send
an
him
enjoyable
away.
pantomime.
So Kirk has been kind of watching this, and he looks back at the group, and then when he calls his name, he kind of looks over and goes, he's gone. So I don't think he's here.
He's just invisible again. But he most likely is here.
Okay, that's a little weird and unsettling.
That's
All
why
right.
I'm just saying, as long as you don't mind him being here, I don't quite care.
At this point, I don't think there's really anything we can do to...
Oh, there's plenty
Stop.
we can do. However, I don't quite like to resort to violence on someone who is as harmless as him.
All right, then let's keep moving.
All right.
So you guys
Back to
hate
what we
the
were talking
Queen of
about.
Moroth?
No, not exactly, but whatever.
So why is he going on about tyranny?
I don't know. It's flair. That's all it is. He wants to create a story, and I understand that. It's whatever.
I get
Tyranny
it. Sell more
sells.
copies. It's a gold a copy. I mean, this
Exactly.
is heavy stuff.
It's gold a copy, Jesus. He's got
Yeah.
a racket up here.
Wait, hold on. How much are you paying for the copies?
We aren't paying anything, but in Moroth you don't quite pay more than a copper for something like that.
Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous.
That's right.
Exactly.
I've been spending actual gold on this.
Exactly. If you like our copy, we'll come and deliver them to you. But anyways, back to the actual reason why we're here. The host. Is there
Right.
anything you can tell me about him? If anything.
I'm assuming not a very good host because I haven't seen anything about him in the ruins.
Can I make an insight check?
Sure.
Because I know he's lying, but he's not.
So in what he is saying, he is being very truthful. He has not seen any mention of the host in the ruins.
Well, I'm more inciting if he actually knows more about the host than he's implying.
So from what, just from his reaction when you mentioned the host, and like how overconfident he is, and a little bit seems to be a little bit self-obsessed. He does seem to have like an inkling, but it's not something that he really seems willing to share about right now, at the very least.
All right. Well, move on from the host, even though it feels like you know more than you're letting on. But I understand you are new to us, and not everything is right. But let's continue talking about Velirine specifically. And
Sure.
the Arc Mirror, if you know the Arc Mirror, because apparently she is a very heavy portion of why Velirine fell, apparently.
Yeah, there was two groups. They disagreed on how Velirine should be run. The Arc Mirror tried to like bridge the gap and failed.
So in the pictographs, is she seen as more of a mediator or a good-siding individual, or was she bringing them to ruin?
I really wish I could give you a definite answer, but even in the same ruins, it seems like people had very different opinions about her and were not afraid to spread them. Like, so in one part of a ruin, you might see her carving as more of an angelic figure, kind of like leading the people. In another, it would show her as like smaller than the people, and from what I can assume, kind of like someone who's easily swayed or can be easily bought, someone who didn't really have the best interest of the people in mind. But opinions seemed mixed.
Interesting. Because, at least the way we've been told by the host and his constituents who have sort of met with us from time to time, whoever this Arc Mirror is not exactly a trustworthy person. And the whole reason why we are searching for this artifact and the dagger specifically is to stop her in whatever her endeavor is before some sort of a cycle repeats.
Weird. Gods are weird.
Indeed.
Telling me.
I would like to believe everything this individual has put towards us, being that he is an omnipotent being, and doesn't exactly seem like he has the worst interests in his heart, but the amount of vagueness and unwillingness to tell us information has led me to be very skeptical, which is why we sought you out in the first place.
I mean, in my own personal opinion, you can't really rely on the gods. They don't really seem to, like any higher power being doesn't really have the interest of anything other than itself at heart.
That can be obvious, it seems. Well, at least in my opinion, I follow the teachings of Curus, the individual that we have already seen. That is where I lie my oath in being a martyr for the people and such.
Wait, hold on. Curus is the god of martyrs?
That is how he is seen, at least represented in Moroth and Kel.
Huh. I might have gotten his name wrong then.
'Tis some mention of him in the ruins.
Man, it's just various names. It's hard to translate the language.
Well, you might be of some use, as I've been being taught the language, and the female individual here, known as Kara, would very much understand the language more than you might think.
For it to be like that.
Every interaction this man has
I have
with Kara
to
is just
overflower everything.
awkward
That is
as
how I work.
fuck.
Female individual.
Known as Kara.
Known
I
as
read
Kara.
Velirine, is what he's trying to say, and I've been teaching him Velirine too.
You read Velirine.
Yes.
That's just incredible. I didn't.
We might have some information. To
Yeah, I was about to say, we have several books and tablets that might pique your interest as well regarding a specific individual known as, what is his name? Kara, what is his name?
Theobrin.
A mad scientist of sorts. From Velirine, it seems.
Oh, really? What did he do?
Apparently,
Oh,
have you ever heard of the apparent? I think it's slugs.
the Millhouse fucking slugs.
The giant slugs that are attracted to mill houses and try to fuck them?
Yep.
Apparently,
Yes.
Theobrin's
Yes.
work.
That's part of his shit.
Makes sense. And at that, you guys do arrive at the cave. You guys do go down through the layers, stepping carefully over the traps.
You know much about this? The egg?
I don't. He's gonna go over and start carefully tap it. I go,
Was this not here the last time you were here?
I wasn't really paying attention to what was around me. You know? I'd gotten a tip something was down here, so I just made it through a goddamn lightning storm and was kind of way more focused on just getting the hell out of here.
Understandable, I guess.
Yes.
Where?
And so as you guys enter in the room with the statue, we're going to take a small break.
Sure.
It's about 5 minutes. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Okay.
Cool.
Hey guys, welcome back. So, the group, you guys do walk in and you do see the statue and the pedestals. And Kirk kind of looks around and goes, well, you guys know the drill. Gotta place the offerings.
Yep. I'll pull out a thunderweed and a thunderweave and put them on the thingy and light them up.
Cool. So the room does fill with the glowing blue lights, and the wall in the back kind of pops open, and Kirk goes ahead and slides it open the rest of the way, revealing the mirror with the person that's chained up, with the chains going into the mirror rather than around it.
Right.
So
This is what we saw.
gotcha. So this seems to have a what we call a 2-key system.
Uh-huh.
The first is the physical barrier. And he walks over and just starts to break apart the body. And the metal, being very old and rusted, just kind of cracks. And the bones don't really handle much against it either. And eventually there are just pieces of skeleton and metal on the ground, and the chains all retract into the mirror.
Alright. I was wincing the whole time that was happening. Does it just come back then?
Does what?
The body?
He looks at the pile of skeleton and armor on the ground. If it does come back, it's going to have a hell of a time, actually doing anything.
Right. Alright, we were just, or at least I was very wary of removing this creature outside of Curris's statue, being that he is the martyr, and it seemed like this body was martyring itself up to whatever this gateway is.
Right. Okay. Yeah, no, I completely understand the concern. Old places, especially of a fallen kingdom, are kind of have the reputation of being cursed, but I figure, hey, if one of us is cursed, now all of us is cursed, right?
I would prefer not to be cursed, but okay.
I'd also prefer not to be hunted down by my own kind, but, life sucks.
We can help you with that if you need help with it. It's not exactly out of our purview.
As long as I don't bring attention to myself.
Can I make an insight check? I feel like he's just disrespecting my religion.
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
Oh, that's not good.
Dear God.
I'm gonna go ahead. And then he's been pretty blatant about it. He doesn't really seem to hold Curris in that high of a regard. It's not like he's outwardly disrespecting. It's just he doesn't seem to like Curious very well.
Is there something that Curious did, or that I don't know about, that you know about?
I don't know. Just whenever I hear his name, I get kind of angry for some reason. I don't know.
No particular reason, you just don't like the guy.
You know that one person that you just kind of look at and you go, yeah, that guy's an asshole.
Are there other names that spark similar feelings?
I don't know. If there are, I haven't heard them.
Alright. That's just interesting.
What if I threw out one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hyraxis.
Douchebag.
Do you know who that is?
No, just once again, similar flair of just like I feel like I wouldn't get along with this guy, and even if we were getting along, I'd ruin it on purpose.
Can I make an insight check again to see if he actually knows these people and he's just being an asshole?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I understand.
As far as you can tell, he's being truthful with you. It's just like as soon as like you guys are giving out these names, it's just instant. It's not like thinking about it. There's not really enough time for him to try and lie about it. He's just like,
You think it's maybe a part of your creation, that maybe there's a bit of emotion left from the creator along with it?
Possibly, especially if it was a really strong emotion.
Interesting.
That makes sense.
That would be interesting. Alright, well, continue, please, if this is something that you know how to work and it doesn't lead to us all being cursed. That'd be helpful, I assume.
Cool. So the physical barrier's down. Now we just need to find the key.
Right.
Is the whole thing just smooth even behind the skeleton?
Yeah, the whole thing, like, so when the chains went back in, there was a slight ripple in the mirror, but then it went all smooth again.
I have a good idea
Yeah.
about what might be the key.
Is it friendship?
But boy, do I wish. However, it's a bit more complicated than that, and not something I am super comfortable with at the moment, because it
Okay.
isn't exactly good leaning.
Sounds about right for a gateway made of reflective black stone. I don't know what this shit is made out of, but I mean,
That's
nothing
why
about
I'm
this.
Curious to know if you believe that this will lead to answers or to, how do I say, bad things.
Well, you know what they say, the truth hurts. So, I mean, either way, we're gonna figure out why he's gonna kind of kick at the skeletal head on the ground. He's just gonna kick at it and go. We're gonna figure out why this guy was chained up against it.
Right. Can I make an insight check to see if it's... Because now that I know that he might have like some emotional attachment to how he was created, can I make an insight check to see if he is just super drawn to doing this by his creator, or if he actually has a genuine insight or interest in seeing what's in here?
Cool. Yeah, go ahead. So as far as you can tell, it's genuine interest. If there's anything pushing from the creator, it's really not. It's definitely not his primary draw towards doing it. Or if it was the primary, he just went into it all the way. But there does seem to be like he's genuinely interested in finding out what's on the other side of this mirror.
Damokos,
Yes, son.
please pull out the orb.
Orb.
We found an artifact in another cave similar to this. Well, not very different from this, but at least in Velirine type ruins similar.
Okay.
And it has done many a thing regarding increasing the power that Damakos has. However, it has on multiple occasions taken over his mind, done damage and harm to him on multiple occasions, and I am very uncomfortable with being around it because it does not seem like it has his best interest at heart. However, I believe this might be the key you're looking for, since it is of very similar qualities to this mirror.
Gotcha. Okay, let's see this orb.
Just doesn't care.
He's not holding it.
It lives in a cave full
damn
of
it,
drugs.
I will pull out the orb.
So you pull it out, and there's a moment where he kind of looks at the orb, and then looks at the mirror. Well, it definitely looks like it was made for this. I mean, same material, right? That's got to mean something, right?
That was my idea.
All right. He's gonna move out of the room. So you said the orb has taken over him multiple. Are you hearing anything from the orb now?
That's a good question. Are you?
That's a very good question. Am I?
Make a wisdom saving throw. No, I'm kidding. So you focus on the orb, and oh god. So you focus on the orb, and is there anything specific you're doing, or are you just holding it?
I mean, look, it's on. You want me to try and figure out how to open this thing now?
I don't think we really have a choice. If this leads to answers, we need to find them, but I am... Just be warned, I don't feel like you should still have this orb in your possession if it leads to answers either way.
Yes, well, considering the success in taking it away from me prior, I don't know if we have much of a choice in that.
Exactly my point of why we should find a way to take it away from you, at some point.
I mean, if it is a key, from what I've seen, keys tend to bond to people, so they're not really easy to get rid of.
Oh, that's good to know.
I'm gonna walk up to the black mirror door, and
So as you approach,
yes,
you're feeling the familiar cold.
Mhm.
Almost sort of start to numb your hand a little bit, and you're noticing that the door is starting to ripple slightly. Like, I'm sorry, not the door. The mirror is starting to ripple slightly. No one else can see any movement in the mirror, just Damakos.
I'm going to Hexagon, do you see that?
No?
Well, it's the door is rippling as I'm getting closer to it. Much like water in a lake.
It might be a one person in, one person out sort of situation.
And I could try and continue walking forward. I could try to, do something else to see if I can get it to open for everyone.
This is your choice. Whatever consequences come with you going through that door is up to you. I don't think it's a good idea, but if this is the only way we're going to get answers, I don't know what else to do.
For the record, I would be appreciative of all of us going through the door, or at least me going through the door.
Then, if it's not reacting to anyone but him, and we might not have the ability to go through.
I don't know. Maybe he can open it for everyone. There was something. There was a word that kept being repeated. Weird. I'm gonna try to remember it.
All right.
Kind of walks away from the group, kind of scratching his chin.
For the record, Damokos will wait to see if he remembers the word.
A few minutes go by, and he's just kind of like starting to kick at some rocks and swear a little bit.
Remind me, is there like writing in this room at all?
Not in this room.
Okay.
Is there any light sources in this room?
There, this room, no, there isn't. There's enough of the glow from the room outside that are kind of leading in, but the mirror is extremely dark. It almost seems to be radiating a bit of darkness around it. But you guys can still see it with the glow from the room outside.
Kirk,
Hmm.
do you think it would be possible to open this door, at least to this area, from the inside?
You mean shut him in and see if he can open it? I don't
No.
think that's a good idea.
Shut more than one of us in. In multiple occasions, we've been in caverns and caves of Velirine ruins where stuff didn't exactly show itself until it was in complete darkness.
Yeah, what? That's... Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea whether the store can be opened up again. But you have enough offerings, right?
I believe I do. Hold on one moment while I check my bag. Because I don't remember how many I took.
Well, I mean, I think it's... Well, I mean, Thunderweave heals and Thunderweed kills, so I think it could be any offering of life and death, maybe?
I'm not sure if I have enough of that. Oh, well, I don't have enough of anything, really, other than Thunderweave and Thunderweed. Where is it? Oh yeah, I took plenty enough. I should have at least 2 more tries of opening this door.
Okay. Then,
It'd probably be a good idea to keep someone on the outside, though.
Kara, would you
Sure.
like to stand inside with Damoko since you can actually read the script if anything shows up?
Yeah, I can do that. Someone take Noodle, though, just in case.
Right.
I can try.
He's sleeping. As long as you don't wake him, he's fine. Just don't.
I am very loud. Please give him to Yovin.
so you haven't... I'm assuming you're accepting Noodle?
Yeah.
So Yovan very gingerly takes the bag, having been bitten by Noodle and feeling that bite kind of fuck him up a little bit. He's just very carefully going to hold on to the bag.
He's doing this arm lengths away.
Don't
Yeah.
drop him. Have Kirk help you if you're so afraid of him.
I'm not going near a sleeping dragon.
That's fair.
Should be fine. All right.
Do you know what a dragon is?
Yeah, I mean, I've studied ancient ruins. Dragons used to be a lot more out there back then, before Gerard
Right.
killed them all.
Yes, that is the story I heard as well.
It's hard to think of it as anything but a fable, but here it is.
Yeah, I'm not messing with that.
Well,
I've seen too
before
many.
I do this, I am very curious now. Have you heard specifically anything regarding a dragon egg within Velirine ruins within your study? Because that's how this one was here.
Well, I've seen sort of like in the lab there was a drawing of an egg with a lot of mad like I couldn't fucking read it because I didn't keep the papers and I couldn't read it like through the rudimentary reading I can do now. But thinking back on that, I'm not sure whether it was like the kind of egg that your dragon was born out of or that giant fucking metal egg that's just in the hallway out there.
True.
Do you remember where your lab is? Where you woke up?
I wouldn't be able to pinpoint it exactly, no.
That's
Oh, question.
unfortunate.
Do you know how long you've been like awake?
Maybe 5 years? A little bit more than that.
Curious. Alright, well. Let's move on to what we were actually doing and save the more interesting questions for later. If you two are ready, I will close this door.
Yep. Yes.
Good. Ready?
I will close the door on them.
So the door gets sealed, and you guys see in the hallway that everyone else is, that room kind of, all the lights start to dim out of it. And for Damakos and Kara, you're beginning to feel the cold emanating from the mirror and from Damakos' orb. There is a moment where the darkness just becomes darker and darker. And then you start to see the illusory blue script appear on the walls. It doesn't really seem to say, it's mainly like, it seems to be names that have been either destroyed or crossed out. And the only two on there that haven't been crossed out, one is Theobrin, and the other one is Curus.
But the others are too destroyed to read.
Yeah, you can make an investigation check if you'd like to try and read them.
1 second, I'm making a note. Yeah, I'm gonna make that check. Investigation?
Yes.
Okay.
You make out a J-O, but the rest of it's just been too scrawled over to go through. And there is really nothing else in this room besides the huge presence of darkness and cold that's just kind of surrounding both of you. And
Very interesting that those two are not crossed out and all the others are.
I'm thinking about what that giant bat said to us when we came out of the cave. That he's not sure that Theobrin is gone. So I'm wondering if this is a hit list. But why would you put a hit on a god and how? Never mind the how. I know the how. Cast light on my hands because I'm very uncomfortable now.
so you can feel the magic coursing through your body, and you can feel like you've just cast the spell light. There is no light in this room.
Oh no. I'm gonna head back over to
I need both of you guys to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Damakos, you have disadvantage.
Of course I do.
Cool. So, as you both are in this room, you can feel something watching you. There is something that's sort of beckoning for you guys to come closer to the mirror. And very slowly, you feel yourselves taking a step forward. And another one.
Given Damakos' familiarity with the orb and the fact that it has controlled him previously, does it feel like the source of the watching is from the orb or just everywhere?
The source of the watching is not, while it is similar to the orb, it is in fact from the mirror. So, Damakos, you're standing right in front of the mirror, and you can almost swear that the once solid black stone is now just tendrils of smoke that you could almost easily push your hand through.
Torn between casting Scry, which will take 10 minutes, and so we probably don't have time for that, or just walking through, because it is beckoning.
It is beckoning for you to come closer to the door.
Might invoke another wisdom save, but I want to try and put the orb away.
Yeah, you're gonna need to do a wisdom save.
Straight or disadvantage?
Disadvantage.
I
Yeah, and
keyed in disadvantage. I don't know why it only rolled once. Let me roll again. Oh,
cool.
pick
Yeah,
whichever.
unfortunately, it's you start to try and put the orb away, but instead find yourself reaching more towards the door. And when your hand does touch, surprisingly, the smoke tendrils are like you can feel them individually. They're soft. They seem to almost dissipate at your touch, but kind of like form and curl around your hand, and it feels slightly warm. A thought goes through your mind, and it asks you for destination. And Zahn, this is about when 5 minutes have passed.
I'm opening up the door.
So you guys hear the creak and groan, and the door slides open. And so when the light does spill in, Kara and Damakos, I almost said Zahn, Kara and Damakos are standing in darkness. Like you guys can see their backs, but they are standing in darkness. There is a little wave of cold that kind of hits you guys out, but they seem extremely focused on this mirror.
Hello?
Carla, Damakos.
Can we hear them and answer or no?
You guys can hear them, but they sound kind of distant.
I mean, at this point, if they're not immediately responding, I'm running in and grabbing them away from whatever they're standing in at the moment.
Oh no. Oh no. And I'm going to go and join Zon.
So, you guys are pulled out, and when you guys are pulled out of the room, you can feel the hold break, but there's almost like right before you guys exit out, there's a flash of regret. And then you guys are just kind of standing there blinking with everyone in the room looking at you.
Well, that wasn't a very good idea, it seems.
It's strange. It partially was, partially was not.
Do you recall anything?
Yeah, you remember everything.
Oh, there was writing on the wall.
Is Kirk still there?
Yeah, Kirk is still there.
Kirk, I've got another name in question for you.
Sure.
Fuck, I forgot how to pronounce Joven's other name. Yorkos?
Yorkos.
Yorkos? There's an
Because-
N in there.
Yorkons.
Yorkons. I don't know. There's definitely something there, but I'm not sure what it is. It's not hate. I can tell you that. Like, it's not like the other two people. And I don't know.
Interesting. Was there anything else in there?
I'm gonna put the orb away at the moment.
Another thing you do notice that kind of like when you look back in Damakos and Kara, the darkness seems to be shrinking, and just the mirror turns into a regular mirror again when the orb is put away.
Yes, a bunch of names, it looks like, were scrawled around the room. Most of them all had slash marks through them, except for 2 of them.
Was his name one of them?
The only ones that I could still read are Theobrin and Curus.
Ugh. Sorry, it's involuntary.
Yeah.
I understand. It seems like it definitely is something of a emotional response from your creator, then. It seems interesting. Theobrin, does that name mean anything to you?
It's familiar.
Can I check the journal to see if there's any reference of anything like Kirk?
Yeah, sure. Make an investigation check.
As far as everything else, the mirror was beckoning us towards it.
Well,
And-
good. More reason why I am afraid of anyone going into it.
It seemed to want to know a destination.
Wait, destination. Try Crossroads. I remember seeing that somewhere, like a lot.
So you're saying it's more of a teleporter than a pathway to another place?
I have no idea, but if it's asking for a destination, that must mean some sort of teleporter, right?
That would make sense.
So-
I'm curious what sort of being could be beckoning you into it, but also be asking for a destination.
Well-
It wasn't a being, it definitely felt like the mirror was beckoning, right, Morgan?
Yeah, the mirror was definitely beckoning towards you.
It's more the mirror or the teleporter, or whatever we want to call it
So
at
the
the
mirror
moment.
has some sort of personality to it?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I remember reading something like the keys are the mirror, which confused the fuck out of me. But now that I'm actually seeing like the orb, the key may be actually part of the mirror.
Interesting.
Should make sense.
It's just curious what sort of agenda the mirror has then, if it's willing to take over someone's body from time to time and say very hurtful things.
Perhaps it might have some sort of stake in things.
Or maybe
know,
it's just an
there's-
asshole.
That is true. Abrasiveness could be a possibility.
Ugh.
I'm surprised it took 5 minutes, though. That it wasn't more. That we even managed to get there in time.
Well,
Also,
the
don't
only
know
thing
if
we
it
can really
was
do.
only for the one holding the orb, or if it was open for everyone, or if I could take all of you with me.
Well, it had an effect on Kara, it seems.
Did you hear a voice?
I didn't hear anything. I just felt it.
What did the mirror look like to you?
Did I also see the weird?
You definitely, it looked like you couldn't see it with as much detail as Damakos did, but it definitely looked like there was smoke coming off the mirror.
Like weird wispy tendrils and shit. Like someone set it on fire and it burned itself out, and it's just like
Interesting.
It's
Well,
fairly accurate to what I saw.
One more quick question is: did the door, when it was closed on your side, look like it could be opened from that side?
I honestly didn't look. I was more focused on trying to figure out the writing on the wall and then the mirror.
one
Carl.
minute we were looking at red, and the next minute and reaching out to touch the mirror, and I don't remember anything else.
Well, does
I will
anyone
say there
here...
was an oppressive darkness moving in around all of us.
Gosh.
Yeah, I cast light and it didn't do a fucking thing. That was terrifying.
Right. Alright, well, here's my options for you all. Well, first, does anyone have a way of getting through this rock if we are closed in behind it?
Indoor?
I can try and...
I believe you have to see your destination for Dimension Door to work.
I don't think so. I think the wording of Dimension Doors, you just have to. I just had it. Oh, it's right here.
See or visualize, or what
yeah.
you can describe by stating distance and direction.
Alright, well...
That would work.
If that works, and it doesn't cause the magic to fizzle as it did your light spell, I believe our only choice right now is to try to use it to take us to the crossroads, like you said.
Kirk does
Even
a
though-
terrible job of hiding his excitement.
Okay, I'm also kind of excited but terrified.
There's also the
Everything
other
you
option.
keep pointing to more and more tells me that this thing is not in our best interest, but the only way we are going to get answers, it seems, is going through this gateway.
Kirk, in your experience with reading or knowledge about Velirine, if the mirror was scried upon, would it just show the mirror, or do you think it would show the destination
I really don't
or
know.
what it hides?
I've seen a mirror, although it looked to be. It definitely didn't look like this. I mean, it looked vaguely like this one, but it was missing something to it. It might have been inactive or something like that. And there was like something carved into the wall. It was just the word crossroads, which was weird.
All right.
Well, the mirror doesn't seem to
You-
react unless I have the orb out, so perhaps I could leave the orb tucked away, and that way all of you could at least maybe see what we saw without the mirror possibly doing everything else. But it's up to everyone.
I very much dislike it, but I feel like we have no choice but to go in here and hope that it leads us to somewhere important. Since our employer hasn't visited us in some time and has made it no concerted effort to give us information, and Kirk here is helpful but needs to know more as much as we do.
I see no problem with it as long as we keep our wits about us.
And if we don't die, we can always come back and try to ask your bat friend if he has actual information to tell us this time.
That friend.
Yes, when we first arrived, there was a large one of the bat creatures that sort of guards the outside of the Forgotten Keep. Sort of stopped us and apparently knew Joven here and called him Yorkos.
One of the big ones, or
Yes.
one of the ones that turns invisible in the moonlight?
Invisible. One of the very ancient ones, apparently.
Huh. He kind of looks Joven up and down. Weird. So, we gonna go through that gateway?
Why do you keep looking at me like that?
Well, you're wearing the armor of the martyrs.
Though he did look different when we first arrived. He kind of got thrown down a pit by a bunch of golems who said he was a intruder. A fallen, specifically.
Hollow. Not fallen. Right?
Oh yes, he was a hollow.
Ah,
A traitor of Velirine, I believe they also said.
judging by what you've told us, it might be two sides, and one of them made a bit of a guard against the other.
Well, they both considered the other side to be the traitors to Velirine, so that really doesn't narrow down anything. But I would love to see this area.
Well, if we survive this gateway, I'm sure we'll be able to show you. Along
Well, I
with
mean,
the
what's-
other large amount of books and other things that we picked up along the way.
Well, fantastic. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We're already all probably cursed.
PC friend. I hope he doesn't die.
So,
You can take this back. I'm going to say to Kara as I hold out the papoose.
When he's sleeping, he's fine. Should we hold a rope just so that we don't get separated, or we could use Zod's manacle?
you
I'm not
have
sure.
manacles?
It's a long story.
I
Former
mean, it's
bounty
not that
hunter.
long.
I'm just going to
was-
point to Zon and say,
It's not that long. I was on a mission to turn in Kara for a substantial reward and had manacles in case I needed to keep her from doing things, but that is a very long time in the past, and obviously we're past that.
I'm
From
not a
slaver to
criminal.
saver. Got it.
No, but okay. I'm not going to correct you. Either way, let's get this over with before I change my mind.
I can teach him how to read Velirine too. I'm so excited, but also very
Cool.
scared.
So, what's everyone doing?
Well, gonna step inside the room and close the door and see what happens.
Cool. So you guys are all kind of huddled up in this room. After a few moments, the dark just does start to flow in, and you all feel the cold from Damakos' orb.
Before anything happens, I want to check the door after I close it to see if I can open it up from this side, if anything goes wrong.
Cool. Make an athletics check.
So it is just flat. That's what you're telling me. That I would need to actually use strength to open it.
Well, I mean, it's also an old door.
Oh, God.
So you push up against it, and like you do find sort of like handholds that seem to have they're old handholds. They kind of like the door handle kind of breaks off in your hand, and so you just resort to end up pushing against it, and there is a very loud creak, and it does sound like stones kind of grinding up against each other, but eventually the door does start to make progress. It's just extremely heavy and not at all as lightweight as it was when you were just shutting it.
That's fine. I'll shut it back again. I just needed to know if I could open it from this side if anything needed to happen.
Cool. So, the darkness does seep around you guys. Damakos and Kara, you guys do see the smoke kind of curling out from the mirror.
And the names showing up.
The names are showing up, yes, with Theobrin and Kurus. It's not crossed out. And Damakos,
Yes.
what are you doing?
Well, here we go. Gonna pull out the orb.
Cool.
Going to focus on it and the smoky mirror doorway. And I will say crossroads.
Cool. So as soon as the destination goes into your mind, you say crossroads out loud, and there is a flash of light behind the mirror, and you guys all start to hear a very almost light-hearted song starting to come from the mirror itself. And the fog, like the smoke, just starts to pull Damakos in.
I'm trying to follow in behind so it doesn't take him by
Cool.
himself.
So, Damakos, as everyone steps through, you all are walking through freezing cold. The only one unaffected is Damakos. Everybody takes 9 points of cold damage.
Owie.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll pick up next week walking through the portal. Go ahead, follow us on Twitch, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube. Anything I'm missing, guys?
Nope. Everything except all the answers we were promised.
I never promised you answers this session.
There might be answers on the other side. We don't know.
Remember, guys, don't be a fucking idiot. Wear a mask.
Okay, bye.